but that's okay. We don't mind
But
doing.
that's not clickbait, that's just a complete truth.
Well, she's alive, so it's not really a disaster. But
Oh, it was a
Yeah,
potential
but
disaster.
that what I've watched yesterday looked to me like a disaster. It has been for basically everybody else a disaster. I know you stayed cool and managed it, but
Hmm. Yeah, it looked even worse after you left, Emery. Sugar was really going nuts, eh?
oh, after I left,
Yeah.
oh my.
She was flopping about in the cage and then trying to get out, and Don
Mm.
had to shove her back in, and then she was up on the perch and she flew down, and then that got her bleeding again, and it was just,
Oh.
she was going completely crazy. She was also upset, and Bob was upset at seeing her. So then Bob freaked out.
yeah, it was all too much for her. All the other birds screaming. I had to put her back in my room and then cover her up. And they keep checking on her about every 15, 20 minutes to make sure she's okay. And of course, she just gets calmed down, and here's me looking through. I tried to get one of those apps that you can use, like you can use an iPad to watch your baby or whatever. And this was a really tricky one because I found one. I didn't have time to look at that. I should have just asked Chat GPT, but wasn't thinking, I guess. But so it runs for about 3 minutes, and then it ends up asking for $69, and it didn't say anywhere in there that it was going to do that. So
Oh, what a pain.
yeah, it's totally free, right? No, it isn't. So I will write a nice little the kind of review that will make people not use the app. I don't write a lot of those, but when you get somebody who's basically committing fraud, telling you that, oh, this is free when it's not. They said they had a free usage. Yeah, like 3 minutes. That's what you get.
Mm.
But the smart thing to do is ask ChatGPT which one's free and doesn't ask, doesn't force you to get into a subscription, and that'll tell you. So found some good apps that way. But yeah,
So
she
let's
sure
see.
had a tough time of it yesterday, that girl.
Let's say hi to our chatters who are already here. We have Jocelyn Triggle, Lisa Banerjee, and Jamin Jamin here. So hello and welcome. Good to see you. And Jocelyn Triggle asks what has happened.
Oh, well, it was a blood feather incident with sugar. We'll go into it when we get a few more people in. So I don't have to repeat myself. I do enough of that without being encouraged.
And Cheryl's here as well, so hi, Cheryl.
And today we have with us Cecil. He's traded places with Lorelei, so he's here right now. Aren't you, Cecil? Hmm? Oh,
Hi,
Cecil.
Cecil.
Hi, big boy. How you doing? Hmm? What big eyes you have. What a
Mhm.
big beak you have.
I think he wants some attention. Yesterday, the birds were all like, Sugar's getting all the attention. What's going on with Sugar?
Yeah, they were all, whenever John opened the door, they were all there with their crests up, all staring, wondering what
Mhm.
was wrong.
Yep. And they behaved. They do that when I have an emergency or something. They behave,
Mhm.
So
right,
they can be
Cecil?
good birdies.
Oh, they are good. They just have they play around, but if you really need them to line up and be good, they'll do it.
Oh, that's nice.
It's like back when 2010 in the fire, when I reached in, they just pulled their wings together, and there were only six of them at that time, but pulled their wings together and went with me. No questions asked. And one look at my face, and okay, we're going.
Then
Right,
Falcon
Sugar?
so is here. Hi, Falcon Sue.
Hello.
Hello, Falcon Sue. Can you say that? I got him.
Triggers.
I have a video. Got to go find the video, but you can't see him because I turned the camera away. I keep trying to get him to say hello. I turn the camera away, and he says hello. Silly bird.
And Sugar's
I
not
would have.
doing anything for anyone today.
No, she's pretty tired. She couldn't rest. She woke me up moving around in that cage that I had in the bedroom about every 20 minutes or so. She started moving around and playing with paper and all that, and just waking me up. And I check on her and I go back to sleep for the 20 minutes. And I still have to keep an eye on her here so if she starts preening, she doesn't try to go after that spot. I just want to make sure that's fully healed. The only thing extra I have her on today is an anti-inflammatory. And after the meeting today, I have to go and get her Haldol because I gave it to her at 12:30 last night too. So yeah, it was crazy.
So it looks like we have 13 viewers now.
Oh, full coven. What do you know?
And Cecil.
We hand out some Halloween candy. What are you doing? Hmm?
Oh,
I
Cecil.
know you want attention, but you aren't. He doesn't nibble my arm anymore. What he does is he just touches me with his beak or his tongue. I've got him away from the nibbling to get attention, but he's calmed down a
Well,
little bit now that he's not in here with Lorelai. Once a week, I let them get together in here, but the rest of the time they're separated. I don't think Lorelai actually likes being around him that much. I mean, she likes him, but he's just after her all the time. So
yeah, she seems to like him for a while and then go off him again.
Yep. And she's the one that flies. So Cecil can fly, he just won't do it. He doesn't realize he can, but so she just flies away from him or hops away from him. And he's got to walk all the way over to her. And she just hops or flies again. If he ever decides he's going to fly regularly, then I don't know what she'll do. She'll come up with
He'll
something
be a
else.
menace.
Yeah. Have to change his name to Dennis then, huh? Well, you guys got to see it too, so you saw what happened when they had to take her in there. But I saw there was some blood leaking from the right side of her body, from the primary area of her ferret feathers, the primary feathers. So I took her back in that room back there, which is technically the master bathroom, but actually it's the medical bathroom because that's what it's used for feet grinding and nail clipping and other medical emergencies. So I examined it, and the blood feather, which was one of the primaries, there's a primary that was broken right near the body too. That's the worst kind. And there was another feather that was coming out at a strange angle. So I had two things to deal with. I looked at the one at the strange angle, and the follicle was too close to the one I was going to have to pull the big feather on. So I just clipped it. It wasn't a blood feather, so I just clipped it short. I don't like doing that because sometimes that feather has problems coming in if you just clip a feather, but another thing against feather clipping in general. But so I got my hemostats, and I have special ones that have a V shape on the end, and they're not that long. These are only 6-inch long hemostats, but they can take out a huge feather, no problem. So I examined the area. Now with her, she's the world's worst patient. Aren't you, Sugar? She's tired. Yeah, she's worn out from last night. But so I'm trying to look at it, and she's trying to get the wing away from me because she doesn't want me to touch the area. And I have to expose it, so I'm propping with one arm, using both arms to try to manipulate her wing out so I can get a good look at it. And it's one of those, when they're close to the body, when they're actually underneath that sheath that comes out that holds the feather in place, and then you may have a problem when you pull them. So, and of course you could say, well, you could take them to the vet. Yeah, sure. It's an 1.5-hour drive if you can get an appointment to the nearest bird. I say bird vet because there aren't any avian vets in Las Vegas. I was misinformed about that. So there are vets that see birds, but there aren't any avian vets. So I know what to do in these situations anyway. So I pulled the feather, and when I did, there's a fatty, it looks like a fatty piece. Inside the sheath, there's I don't even know what it's called, but it's a groove that goes from the body all the way into the feather that helps to supply the blood. And when you see that, when you pull the feather, you know you got a problem. You got a bleeding situation. So the first thing I broke out was the styptic, because if you have a major bleeding, you want to take the styptic and put it on the end of your finger, okay, where you have a pile of it, and then you want to press it up against the wound, and you want to hold it there as long as you can. And of course, when you have Sugar, that means you're going to be fighting her the whole time. The problem with styptic is it's a little irritating. The superclot has lidocaine in it, so once you get that on there, you have less trouble with the bird because it doesn't hurt. So I had to do that 3 or 4 times until I covered the whole area. It was about the size of a quarter that I had to cover to make sure I got it all, because it was hard to see once you hit it with a styptic. You can't really see the spot anymore. So that took a good 10 minutes to get it to calm down, and then I went back with the superclot around it to get rid of the pain, and where she's fighting me the whole time. No, not going to do that. Since you have it out, yeah, see, it's dried enough now. When she's trying to clean it up, it isn't bleeding. But keep an eye on you. You're over there sleeping, then the next thing I know, you're trying to get that spot. Clean it up. I will clean it up. Watch it. No. Stop it. Stop it. No. Come here. Let me pet that beak so you stop it, okay?
She just can't help herself, that one.
No, you can't. Definitely don't want you to start bleeding again.
And you have to go through the whole rigmarole again.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and get her Haldol dose now. I gave her one at 12:30 last night, but I think I'm going to go get it right now. So the place is a bit of a mess because yesterday I didn't get to do any cleaning. trying to keep her from dying. So let's see. Looks like a disaster here.
Well, it
And they
just
have it
goes to
all.
show sometimes you have to prioritize, and the priority is keeping sugar alive rather than cleaning.
Yep. Sugar bird. Let's see. I can switch this around. Who's that? Okay, might be able to put it right there. Sugar. I don't have peanut butter for this, so we're just gonna have to take it down the old throat, the old way. Swallow. Swallow it. Okay. All right. It's too early to give her any more meloxicam, so but too early to give her that. Nice tail flash, kid.
Well, you're pretty cute, Shug.
Yeah, it's the thing too to get. Then, then of course Eleanor and Amy and I were discussing the different things we could do because she's trying to go after the area. I know how much she hates a collar, but it really got to the point where there was no choice. I put a collar on her, and you would think that I had gone out and killed her dog or something. And her whole attitude was, "You're a horrible person, and how dare you do that?" Right, Sugar? Cecil,
Oh,
those are my shoes.
she was so mad.
Yeah, she was
Mhm.
upset. She hates collars.
I've never seen Sugar like that.
It's the most activity I've ever seen from her in one go.
Mhm.
It's like a year's worth of activity all in a couple of hours, just from thrashing around and flapping and rolling and all kinds of things.
Yeah, I'm too busy when that kind of thing's going on to film any of that. Hey, darn it, Cecil, no, no, let it out. You don't bite the shoes. You almost got through to me on that one. Leave the shoes alone. Now step up. Step up. Good boy. So got her in the collar, and then it was going to get the right size cage for her and trying to get her in the cage, get water and food in there and paper in. That was fun. Because when you got a bird that fights you, you try to put the paper in, she's trying to come out. uh, Eleanor watched all that. That was so much fun. You could
Yeah.
probably describe it better than I could, but
Yeah, well, it was quite something. And the trouble is she can get out of the collar as well. So she escaped from the collar and then she was thrashing around inside the cage. And so when Dawn tried to open the door, she was tripping over herself trying to get out and tangled up in the collar and had her wing stuck in the bars. And the cage was rocking back and forth because she was thrashing so much. It's quite the show. So Don had to shove her back in, and she would come out again, and he'd shove her back in, and then eventually he put her on the perch, and then she flew off the perch and landed on the floor and started bleeding again. It was just madness,
Mhm.
pure chaos.
definitely not a bird you want to be, not a starter bird for learning how to do feather feather disasters.
Yeah, Sugar's the
No,
final boss of the disasters, I think. And meanwhile, Cecil was yelling, and Bob was yelling, and Jasmine was beeping, and KK was yelling, and everyone was like, "What's happening with Sugar?" They were all upset.
I, I, you're not going to make me do that the whole time. Watch you now, are you? Are you? You are? Oh, now she's going to probably figure out that she can get me to pet her beak. So, and then just by going after that spot, going to train me. Smart girl, she'll figure it out. Hi, Cecil. Cecil, hello. Hey. So I tried putting her in the in the I don't even know what you call that room. It's like a little dining room area, but it's actually the area where Romeo and Amanda watch movies. They don't watch television, but they watch movies. And that didn't work out. She was just going around in circles and not paying attention to the movie or anything. So I tried putting her in her cage, and that did not work. She got worse. So eventually, she ended up back in my bedroom on the couch, covered up. And every 15 or 20 minutes, I would go back and try to see how she's doing. And of course, she calmed down a little bit. Then she sees me and she gets all hyped up again. I felt like Shirley MacLaine in terms of endurance, The baby's not breathing. The baby's not breathing. And go shake the baby, and the baby starts crying, and that's better. But I had to check on her to make sure she wasn't bleeding, so I had to do it. Then I tried one of those baby monitoring apps, and I'm going to be writing a really nice review of the app because it said it was free, and then you're 3 minutes in and it's trying to get you to sign up for $69 a year. No, made the mistake of not asking ChatGPT which one I could find, or if there wasn't one, is there something else like I can use a virtual connection so I can just use the camera, whatever. But I just kept going back and checking on her because she'd calmed down a bit. But she spent the whole night then just going around and around in the cage slowly. Sometimes I'd wake up about every 20 minutes. I'd hear her going around. I'd check on her, try to go back to sleep, wake up another 20 minutes later when she's making noise. She didn't really sleep last night. She is one stubborn bird. She's cute. She's a sweet girl, but
And the whole time she had that completely shell-shocked look on her face as well.
yeah, I thought I'd never see a collar again. It's kind of the look. She had to suffer through them for 2.5 years, and then she's wearing a collar again. It was not pleasant.
Like, how could you do this to me?
I didn't have one. When we moved, a lot of things just disappeared. But there's a deal that you can put on their neck. It's a round piece that you snap together, and it's not good for anywhere below, let's say about what we would say like mid chest level, but it can stop them from reaching the spot she's going after. Now it can stop now. Cut it out. Wiggle that tail all you want. No, you want to
You see,
collar?
even after all that, she still doesn't get it.
No, not there either. She wants to clean it up. Anything that
she
looks
doesn't.
dirty, And then when I finally got her out of the cage, 5:30 in the morning, I decided it's time to take her out. The that area actually both those areas would have had time for the scab over. So So I take her out. I got to take the gorilla tape. Don't think about it. Stop it, Cecil. Come on. He keeps trying to get my attention by grabbing my, well, not grabbing, by touching my arm, and it tickles. You're tickling me. Don't tickle me. Billy Bird. Hey, hey, hey.
Sugar.
Cut it out. It's going to be a whole hour of no, don't, no, don't. You're going to learn your name is Sugar No. Sugar No No.
Sugar, no. Well, she's just too stubborn. I think, I don't know if what she thinks you were doing, but maybe she hasn't realised that it's touching that area that makes her have to wear the collar. Or maybe she has realised and just doesn't care.
Hey. Oh, she cares about the collar. She doesn't think I'll do it to her again. And you stop that now. Once the howl takes effect, it should slow her down a bit. Laugh for about 20 minutes, maybe. You never
A bit
know with
nosy
her.
for a little while. Or maybe if she's tired, she'll fall asleep.
I, she's tired. That might do it.
So
As tired
thanks
as
to
she
Jim
is.
and Jamie who donated and says, I'm glad Sugar is okay. So thanks for the super chat.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
And we have a few other viewers as well. We have Spirit Matter and Rosebud and Sunderbing and Calvin. So hello all of you guys. Glad you
Hey,
could join
everybody.
us.
Cecil, you can say hello. Say hello. If not you. You don't talk loud enough down there. They can't hear you. But you said hello. That's a good boy. AK said hello.
Good boy, KK.
Yesterday was supposed to be my clipping. You know, I clip their nails and I do their beaks. Sometimes I Dremel. It depends on the nails. Dremel some, clip others. There's reasons for that. You're going to try to do Pippa's nails, you're going to have to clip them because you end up having to put a collar on her temporarily just to get to the nails. And then she pulls her feet away. So, hey, she doesn't mind the Dremel. I just don't have, by the time I get the Dremel to the nails, she's already trying to curl her feet up into a ball. What are you doing? No, Sugar.
Just moving
Sugar.
in very slow motion towards that spot
No,
again.
no. Oh, she's fastidious. She likes to be clean. So stop it.
Sugar, you're better off scabby than dead.
Do I need to say that to you in Klingon? I'd have to ask ChatGPT how to say that in Klingon.
And she was so upset that she sat on your chest for several hours, and that's very out of character for her.
Yeah, she was on from 5:30 to 6:30 this morning. She was lying flat on my chest. And that's actually kind of scary because she won't do it. And she will not get on my chest at all. She just doesn't like to be held, but she was lying there like a bird that was about to die, just was so tired. Then as soon as she perked up, she looked around. I watched her. Her head went out. Her head went one way and then the other. You can see why no doesn't really work in these situations. But she gets that I'm trying to stop her, but I don't have a right to stop her messing with her own body. That's probably what it comes down to. But yeah, the look on her face was, why am I here? I shouldn't be doing this. And as soon as she could get up and move, she moved down onto my leg. You stop trying to eat my arm. Cut it out. Okay? Don't eat my arm.
Yeah, it's pretty funny when she does sit on you and then she suddenly it's like she's in a trance, and then she wakes up and she's like, "Oh my God, what am I doing here?" And then scrambles to get away.
So we've
Yeah,
got
I
a
just love.
super sticker from Thunderbing. So thank you very much for your donation. Much
Thank you.
appreciated.
Thank you. You say thank you, Shug? He goes, no, I can say hi.
Hi.
And she's just normally preening there, but she's awfully close to that area. Don't do it, Cecil. Yeah, she got a little blood on her foot. I cleaned it up, but she's still trying to get whatever. If there's anything left on there, she's going to be working. Not doing that. Sugar? No. Will you stop it, Cecil? You're driving me nuts. Cut it out.
And
I
thanks
know you just
to
want to be
Jocelyn
cut.
Trickle, who also sent it a super sticker. So thank you very much for that.
Oh, thank you, Jocelyn.
Thank you. Thank you. Can you say thank you? No, I haven't taught you that one yet.
See, Sugar, everyone's worried about you. They're all sending money to help pay for your super clot.
Because you needed a lot yesterday.
Yeah. Look at Cecil. Oh my God.
I gotta bounce him a little bit. He's all fired up right now, and he keeps wanting me to pet him. I'm trying to get it. Why don't you pick up a toy or something? Get a toy. Let's get a toy. You can hit me with a toy. I'd rather have that than you grabbing the hairs on my arms. He doesn't pull them. He's figured out that if he just holds on to them, it tickles me. He
Didn't
knows
want
it
that
bothers
toy.
me. He
Threw
probably
it
doesn't
away.
realize it's tickling me, but he knows it bothers me. So I can put this around your neck. I can put it over your head. You could. That's actually Sugar's toy. Here, give it back. Give it back. Oh, my hand's in the wrong position here. Stop it. Stop it. Give it back. Give it back. That's not your toy. Give it back. I'm trying to fool him because otherwise he'll just throw it away. You hand him a toy, he tosses it. It's my toy. That's my toy. It goes to Shug. I have to keep looking up at Sugar too, so I'm not sure about my camera angles.
No, we can see Cecil fine. And we've got a couple of new chatters who have joined us. We've got Julio Boobzilla and we've got Master Blaster. So hello to you guys. Great to see you.
Hello. Hello. Sugar, can you say hello? No. Cecil? Sugar, you okay? She's starting to relax a little bit.
Maybe she'll go off to sleep. Let's hope.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
it'd be nice if you could give them melatonin because melatonin doesn't work unless if you're tired, actually tired, it'll knock you right out. But I don't think it's safe for them. I'll have to check. What are you doing? Cecil, what are you doing?
It's full of
He
energy.
has a ring like Sugar. I think he wants attention.
Oh, he's definitely wanting attention. He also
Yeah.
wants me to bring Lorelei in here, and I'm not doing it, so not when he's in here.
Yeah.
Mm.
And they all had their outside time cut short yesterday as well because of Sugar, so they've got energy to get out.
Amanda almost came out, and then he realized that he started doing his circling in the cage, which means he wants to come out. And then he saw me I was taking another bird, and he went, you could just tell it, no, I don't want to be in there with the other birds. But he'll want to come out tonight, but I couldn't get him out last night. I have to get Romeo out though, so I did get Romeo out last night, but if he doesn't come out, then he'll come apart and start ripping his feathers out. Doesn't
Mm.
matter whether he's getting his Haldol. So
Poor little guy.
yeah, he likes getting out. Come here. I'm gonna toss you again. He's Cecil the cockatoo. Hello. He's Cecil the cock. I can't sing today. I can't. Hello. Come here. What are you doing? Oh, come on. You like your song. You won't do a song
He's
then. We'll just do
Cecil
the
the
bounce.
cockatoo. Hello. Cecil the cockatoo. Hello.
You're being almost as much of an issue as Sugar is. Yeah, he didn't get out yesterday, so he's not a happy camper, are you? Hmm? Need attention? I think he understood though. I mean, he saw what was going on, so
Hmm. Although Bob
he
was
understood.
very upset.
Yeah.
I think he thought you were
Yep.
being cruel to Sugar, and it's like, it's not being cruel keeping her alive, but they can't understand that.
Yeah, she's taking a nap now. Oh,
Oh,
looks
that's
right at me as soon as I say that.
good.
Silly bird. Hi,
So there's
KK.
a question from Thunderbing who wants to know whether the birds enjoy getting baths or do they show their disapproval?
Depends on the bird. If you try to spray Lorelei down, about 99 times out of 100, that's about right. You chop it. You grab my arm. Um, she will run away from you and try to get out of the way. Once in a great while, she'll put her wings out. When she wants a bath, she gets in her water bowl. Um, Cecil likes a bath, don't you? Uh, Pippa likes a bath. It's hard to stop. You on a squirt bottle, you can go for a good 5-10 minutes with her, and then of course, Romeo likes a bath. Sugar doesn't care one way or another. What are you doing? What are you doing? Hey, get out of there! You know what I'm going to be doing all day. I'll get out of there. It's going to be fun when she's back in her cage. I actually do need to set up a monitor of some kind, so I'll get with Chat GPT and find a monitor that I can use to keep an eye on her. Because I do have cages to clean, I've got vacuuming to do, I've got a ton of stuff to do. So if you don't vacuum when you got cockatoos, you get dust on the floor, and then when you walk around, you stir the dust up. So I have to clean the humidifier. Lots of things on my docket today. I am working on a new video, so I'm working on one of my productions too. It's only going to be 8 minutes long, so if the Google averages are right, people should watch the first 30 seconds or so. You have to get the whatever you want to say in the first 30 seconds, or it doesn't get watched. I mean, there are people who watch all the way through, but it's when you look at the figures, it's a small percentage. If you do an hour-long video, you're lucky to get 2 or 3 minutes from the beginning. 8 minute video, 30 seconds is average, somewhere in that range. But it's going to be an interesting video, though. It's basically, there's a bird from 2010 that we tried to save, which somebody refused to give up, even though it was falling apart. And So that's in the video. I've got 45 seconds of video and then several pictures of Sydney. And then there's more to the video than just that section on Sydney, but that's the crux of the issue is how do you deal with these guys? What does it take? The
Takes
tough
a lot
part
of
is we
hard
tried to
work.
get. What's that?
Takes a lot of hard work.
Yeah, and insight too. You know, it's you got to listen to the experts as well. So, and the lady who had Sydney had for 2 months, one of our directors was trying to get her to relinquish Sydney. Oh no, no, what you know, if I just apply love, you know, and it's my responsibility, and love will win out. Yeah, yeah, uh-huh. Two months later, Sydney was. I would say there was maybe a 10% chance of saving her life, but 3 months and $3,000 later, she died of infection. So,
And she wanted to live too. That was the saddest thing.
oh, she was a little ball of life. She wanted to live. The first time I saw her, all she was doing was trying to rip her feathers out. But I mean, she'd look at you, and she was obviously interested in the world. But then she'd go back after her feathers. And once we got her on a high dose of Aldol and some toys to play with, you know, she stopped pulling her feathers. But the way she was just waiting for infection. As these guys, you know, if they have damaged skin, you don't have a good chance of saving their lives. But I tell the whole, and briefly tell the story of what happened with her.
So what'll happen with Sugar's wing then? So is there still a bit of broken feather left inside? But how will that just come out by itself?
No, there's no feather left inside.
Okay.
And even the supporting tissue came out with it. So question is whether that feather will grow back. It may or may not. It's hard to tell. Had to be pulled though. I mean, it was just leaking blood at a level that, you know, on a mammal, a dog, a cat, a human, you wouldn't be overly concerned. But it's like watching somebody turn on a hose bib, you know, on the water come at when it comes to a bird. So there wasn't a choice. It's one of the reasons I say you have to know how to do it. You have to know how to pull a feather. You have to know how to stop bleeding. You have to know how to restrain a bird by yourself. And people are like, oh, well, I can go to the vet. Well, you know, by the time you get to the vet, you might as well go back to the mortician. You know, it's just.
Yeah,
Fortunately,
their
she
little
didn't lose.
bodies they're so small and delicate.
Yeah, and they're designed. You know, they're not designed, but their bodies are low weight for a reason, so they can fly. So they don't carry much blood. She's gone to sleep now, or she figures she's got me bamboozled, one or the other. Yeah, that's one of the big issues too. Another thing is I don't know how many people out there use Chat GPT, but I'm not. I feel like I'm an advertisement for them, but I use them all the time. I recently had a question. Somebody had convinced a veterinarian to give their bird a little bit of aloe vera, so I looked it up, and Chat GPT said, "Yeah, you can put it on the skin." It didn't say it in those words, of course. You can put it on the skin, but you cannot give it to them orally because it listed aloin and several other little toxic chemicals in there, so it can cause vomiting. And this bird already had that problem. But again, medical information is medical information. So as far as I know, even though I brought that up, it's still being given to the bird. So but I go there first. I mean, because it has access to more information than you can even imagine. I mean, I asked a question about a novel that I read, an obscure point that's only on one page, and it came right up with it. So not only does it know all the technical stuff, it actually can. It has all the novels and that kind of thing in it too, like the Library of Congress inside of it and more. I was surprised that you can put it on their skin though, because I'd heard veterinarians say not to do it, but ChatGPT said there's no evidence to show that it causes any problem on the skin. It always says check with your avian vet too, but I mean, I don't put it on their skin because I don't see the point myself. But and their skin being so thin, it's unless it's specifically for them, I wouldn't do it. But
And the thing with the bird as well is anything you put on their feathers, they can ingest because they preen.
yep. And their skin is so thin. If there is an abrasion or something on the skin, it can go right into their bloodstream. So that's why when I was telling Dr. Jenkins that I use Superclot, he said, "Well, I wouldn't use anything that hasn't been tested on parrots." And I said, "Well, Dr. Burkett," and he looked right at me. Jenkins looks at me like, "Oh, okay." Dr. Burkett on the East Coast, he uses it and he's been using it forever. Okay, well, it's fine then. But for something like a major blood flow, if you're going to try to stop it, then styptic is the best, the powdered styptic. And then once it's stopped, then you can put on the Superclot, which has the disinfectant. Watch it now. It has a disinfectant and the painkiller, lidocaine in it. So I use it on myself. So it's technically veterinary only, but I use it on myself. What are you laughing at? You laughing at me down there, KK? I'm watching you, Shug. I know you're not getting there yet. So post care right now is just watching it and then checking it 3 or 4. Now, get out of there. Trying to keep her out of the area and examining it for the next week or longer, depending on how it looks. I'd love to clean it up and get some traces of blood off of it, but it's too early for that. Because if I can make the area look clean, she'd leave it alone. She's fastidious about herself. She wants to be clean. So any area with any stain on it, she's going to be working on it. So, and for that, you use hydrogen peroxide, the diluted version you buy. I buy the concentrated, but I dilute it myself. Yeah, she did this to me once before, and then she turned around and went after her, cleaning up that spot. It's definitely on her agenda today. I'm gonna get that spot clean. At this point, if she does start bleeding, it'll be minor, but anytime they bleed, there's a chance for infection. So I have to watch closely that she doesn't show any signs of infection and then put her on Baytril. I'm not going to do that as a preventative, though, because I've found that that's not a good idea. But if I start to see anything that looks like if she starts sneezing or she shows any other like respiratory issues, I'll put her right on it. The problem with antibiotics is that They're not as effective as they used to be. So, and every time you use them, they lose some of their effect. What are you doing? You just have to have my attention, don't you? You just have to have it, don't you, love bug? We're getting more and more infections in the world that can't be treated with antibiotics. And I'll get on my soapbox for a second, but the reason we don't have good antibiotics that can treat these kind of things is because it doesn't make money for big pharma. Because you use it for what, 7 to 10 days? No, they want you to they want to make things that you have to take every day for the rest of your life. So that's what they want to make. That's where they make their money. So,
And also people
so
are dumb, and when they're given antibiotics, they don't follow the instructions properly. Or doctors give them ones that they don't need just to shut them up. And that
yeah,
causes the bugs to evolve and
yep.
be more resistant.
Well, and because people are that stupid, that's why you need to have pharmaceutical companies that are making new forms of antibiotics. But if you're going to see those come out, you won't be seeing those coming out from capitalist countries. I'd look for it to come out of China or Cuba or Vietnam or someplace like that, because their pharmaceutical companies aren't based on profit. So you can fix that by just making it illegal for pharmaceutical companies to be based on profit. And then take your military budget and give it to the pharmaceutical companies, and we wouldn't have a problem. Don't see that happening. I see a sleeping sugar, though.
Oh, that's good.
I think she's actually asleep now. So,
Rock-a-bye Shaggy on the perch top.
are you gonna look at me? She might be faking me out too.
Just can't tell.
Are you gonna stamp your foot at me now? No. I don't know if anybody has seen that before, but when they stomp their feet, it's quite often it's a complaint. I don't know what else to say. You keep telling them not to do something, and they'll stomp their foot at you. Yeah, we're lucky to have what we do have. The number one antibiotic used on parrots is Baytril. It wasn't. None of these drugs are designed for parrots. They've just been tested on parrots. Okay. Someone somewhere along the line said, "Yes, you can test this on my bird because my bird needs something." They don't. There's nobody out there designing medicines for parrots. So, but fortunately, it was designed to be a veterinary drug from the beginning. They wanted something that could be used on animals. So. Hi, Cecil. How's my Cecil boy? You okay? Yeah, it's pretty scary. Blood feathers can be scary. And then when you pull them out, you can't yank. You have to pull slowly. And with her, you have to somehow hold her so she doesn't make you yank the feather, because when you do that, you can cause more trouble. So just have to pull slowly. On most of the birds, it's not that hard. You get right above where the sheath is that comes out of the skin, and you can see the little dividing line. You go right above that, and you clamp the hemostats down, and you pull. Don't go out to the toolkit and get yourself needle nose pliers. They don't lock in place, and you could slip, and then you can have another problem. So just once you've got them locked on, then you just have to pull. There's nothing else you need to do. I tried all kinds of different hemostats too, and I finally just did research on it. And the ones that clamp down the best and hold on to the best are the ones that have the V shape on the end. So there's a little V on the top of it, and then there's an indented V on the bottom. Once you clamp that thing on, it's not coming loose. You don't need to buy a long pair that's 8 or 10 inches long. Tried those; they don't hold very well. Even when you lock them in position, they don't hold well. I haven't seen any of those with the V at the end, though. I don't think they make them for that large. I'm watching you. Cecil, the big nut. Ah, 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 ah. No, leave it alone. Cecil, quit grabbing my arm, you big toad. You're such a big toad. You're a big toad. Look at that beak. Look at that beak. Look at that beak. Hey, you. No. Sugar. That's the other way to stop her. Unbalance the perch. But stop. You're a good girl. I just don't want you messing with it today. Tomorrow would probably be okay. Today I'm just, no, I want to see another day. Now, if I could get her on a table, ha ha ha, get her on a table and have somebody hold her, I would use some veterinary super glue. Yes, they make super glue for skin, and make sure that was all tightened up in that area so she wouldn't have a problem. The problem with that is that sometimes it'll damage the follicle, so I'll have to look at it to be sure. But right now, this is the best care I can give. Stop. Give it up. Give it up. Flash the tail. It's the first time I've seen you use your tail to tell me to, yeah, that you're unhappy with me. What, KK? KK Bird? Is it KK Bird?
Okay.
You guys lucked out and didn't get the trims yesterday. It'll be tomorrow. Beaks and nails. Although she got a nail trim because she was in there. Didn't you? Silly girl. So now it's just watching for infection and making sure that she doesn't start that area bleeding again, or one of the two areas. She's got that spot on the right side too, at the top, between the primary and secondaries. You're awfully cute, though. No, no, I don't talk to you today because you let me sleep on your chest. I'm not supposed to do that.
It was a weird day.
Hmm.
It's actually kind of spooky when she does that. Because you know something's definitely wrong if she's doing that. Hi, baby. Ah, ah, ah. Ah, ah, ah. I can read your mind. Not really. I can figure out your behavior though. Don't do it. Thinking about moving a little farther away, it won't fix it. I'll just move the perch closer. Well, thank you for all being here. Thank you, Amy and Eleanor, for watching the chat group for us, and for helping me yesterday too with her when this happened. I don't have anybody else to consult with here, so you're both quite helpful. And
Well, we're glad to help you out however we can.
Yep, even when we are miles away.
And thank you
well,
to
there's
the
Serge.
viewers as well for all your well wishes and super chats.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming. So thanks to all our supporters. Your help means much to us and is really appreciated.
It is, it is. And you can find us at chloesanctuary.org or at our link tree. And that'll link to pretty much everywhere we go. We're on Discord and Telegram. We're not on the any of the major media except YouTube. That is, I consider those unsafe platforms, so we're not there. You say anything, Sugar? No, I'm just going to keep watching you. I'm going to corner my eye until you look away, then I'm going to grab that spot. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Amy. Thanks, Eleanor. And we're out of here.
I'll see you Wednesday.
Bye-bye.
Wednesday, folks.